Is 5 on your side at 6. Focused on you.
We begin tonight with breaking news. Charges just announced in a crash that killed a mother and daughter leaving a concert downtown. Monty Henderson is now charged with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter and 2 counts of armed criminal action. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Ann Allred. The victims were visiting from Chicago to see Drake at Enterprise Center. Our Justina Cornell spoke to family members today and joins us live from the crash scene on 18th and Olive. Justina.
Their cousin tells me that they want to highlight their loved ones because they believe they are more than this tragedy. They say they were extremely close and they love life.
My cousin was a dedicated mother. She lived her life trying to do everything right for her daughter. They're both super loving, super fun-loving, energetic, just full of life and wanting to make memories and just have fun.
Always together. That's how family remembers 42-year-old Leticia Bracero and her 21-year-old daughter, Alyssa Cordova.
They're inseparable. They do everything with each other. They're like best friends. That's their thing, too, is going to these concerts.
It was no surprise to their cousin, Nicole Rivera, that the duo went to St. Louis to see Drake.
I mean, nobody expects for something like that to happen, especially just walking out of a concert.
Tuesday night, the two left the concert. That's when police say a 22-year-old driver was running red lights at a high rate of speed when he sideswiped the front end of another car. The car rotated and hit Bracero and Cordova, who were walking on the crosswalk.
They're so much more than that. They're our family, and we love them, and we're gonna miss them. And they're not just 2 people who died, trying to cross the street.
St. Louis Mayor Tashara Jones responds to another tragedy with tourists.
My heart goes out to the family involved in this incident, but this also renews our call for more street safety initiatives.
For Rivera and their family, they're comforted Bracero and Cordova will always be together.
If I'm being honest, the only way I can try to get through it is knowing that they were together, because if either one of them would have made it, they wouldn't have been able to survive without the other. We want them here more than anything, but if we can't have that, then of course we want justice.
The goal is to bring the two back to Chicago, and there's a GoFundMe to do that. If you want to help out, you can head to our website, kck.com, and go to the section as seen on TV. Reporting in downtown St. Louis, Justina Cornell, 5 on your side.
That deadly crash has attorneys for a man facing charges in another high-profile crash, asking for a change of venue. Daniel Riley is accused of hitting Tennessee teenager Janae Edmondson as she was walking to her hotel downtown last year. She lost her legs. Riley's attorney filed a motion for continuance today. He wants a change of venue, saying Riley's case is back in the news now. A judge denied that motion and said the case will move forward with a jury trial.
Let's take a live look outside downtown St. Louis. All is quiet right now. That will change. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is tracking snow.
We do have some snow. It'll probably start as a little rain first thing tomorrow morning in St. Louis, then change over to a brief period of sleep, then get to snow. But what a beautiful sunset tonight. That mainly clear sky this afternoon after those brief showers and thunderstorms very early this morning before daybreak slid through, and then the sky finally cleared just before lunchtime. With that clearing sky, temperatures did bounce back into the 50s this afternoon, but they're already sliding into the 40s. Colder air is filtering in, and that next weather system to our north and west already starting to produce some snow. Parts of Nebraska into South Dakota, and that's going to be trudging towards St. Louis as we head towards daybreak tomorrow. So north and west of St. Louis, you'll get in on the wintry precipitation first. We'll see any mix change over to all snow by lunchtime in St. Louis. Tomorrow will be a weather first weather alert day in St. Louis. So a wintry mix changing to all snow. Should start sometime around the morning rush or maybe just after in St. Louis. Going to be close. Temperatures will be pretty close to or just above freezing. And the impacts in the metro area, mainly wet roads, but some slick spots when it is snowing, especially north of St. Louis. We'll get you caught up on what the rest of the weekend holds in just a few minutes, Ann.
You can get the Weather First forecast sent straight to your phone. Just text the word weather to 314-425-5355.
Developing news out of Kansas City. Police and prosecutors working to bring charges against the suspects they believe were behind the shooting at the Chiefs Parade that killed 1 and injured 22. 5 on your side's Laura Barcheski continues to follow this story for us. She joins us now with the latest updates. Laura?
Mike, we have some good news from hospital officials this afternoon. More than half of the people who were shot are now recovering at home as investigators work to charge those responsible.
Our condolences continue to go out to all those who have been impacted, including the decedent.
Kansas City Police Chief Stacey Graves officially identified the 43-year-old woman who was shot and killed as Lisa Lopez Galvan. She is one of 23 gunshot victims.
The 22 victims age range between 8 years old and 47 years old. At least half of our victims are under the age of 16.
University Health Hospital doctors say of the 8 gunshot victims they treated, 5 of them are now recovering at home, but 3 are still in the hospital. 2 of them are still fighting for their lives.
The medical director of KC Fire is also an emergency medicine physician here. She was at the scene and was able to triage these patients appropriately, very quickly and efficiently, which ultimately allowed the sickest people to get to us first as we're the closest hospital.
Children's Mercy Hospital doctors say of the 12 patients they treated, 9 had gunshot wounds.
Out of all of the children we have treated, we only have 3 left in the hospital, all of which who will recover from the injuries they had yesterday.
Police initially had 3 people in custody. 2 of them are juveniles. 1 was an adult. The adult has since been released after police questioning found they were not connected. Several guns have also been recovered from the scene.
We have detectives that have worked overnight and through the night that are still upstairs right now working with our Jackson County Prosecutor's Office for the furtherance of this investigation. That we have all intentions of presenting charges.
If you have any information, video, or pictures, you're asked to call this number on your screen, 816-413-3477. That's the direct line to the Kansas City Police Department that has been set up to respond to this tragedy. There are also extra mental health resources available. Anyone can call 988, and in just a few minutes, there will be a vigil in Kansas City for those who've been affected.
Police say a man who shot and wounded an 11-year-old boy in North St. Louis was aiming at a dog. The child was playing football with friends on Elias Avenue yesterday when a dog started running around the area. Police say a man pulled out a gun and fired shots at the dog. He missed the dog and hit the child in the thigh. The man then took off. The child is recovering in a hospital right now. So far, no arrests. More developments tonight in a case that's pitting the Washington County prosecutor against the sheriff. It all stems from an alleged DWI involving the prosecutor last summer.
But the sheriff's office didn't administer sobriety tests or seek charges until this week. Our Christine Byers tells us what the sheriff and prosecutor had to say for themselves.
This case began at about 2:15 a.m. July 5th when Washington County Prosecutor John Jones IV was involved in a single vehicle crash. It happened near the Rural Parish Workers of Christ building.
The sheriff tells us that after striking the cross on this property, the prosecutor then called a deputy on that deputy's personal cell phone instead of calling 911.
What do you think could have gone differently had he called 911?
We don't work injury crashes, so that our dispatch, that would have triggered them to call the Highway Patrol.
Instead, 2 deputies responded. One wrote in a report that Jones had slurred speech and an empty bottle of rum under his driver's seat. But the deputy didn't administer sobriety tests or call in the Highway Patrol. He says he felt intimidated not to because of the prosecutor's position.
The Highway Patrol should have been contacted. That's what should have been done differently. It all looks bad. It all smells bad. But if it was a common person, it would have been handled completely different, and that's what's unfortunate about it. And the only person here to blame is me.
So why 7 months later does this become an application for a warrant?
I didn't know that it could be submitted. It wasn't until seasoned attorneys that didn't have any kind of interest in it told me you could still submit that case to the prosecutor.
But Jacobson is taking his ownership so far.
As far as the incident that led up to the deputies getting there, we're not going to own any of that because we're not the only adults in the room. I don't think so. Mr. Jones has a duty to own this.
Jones has not been charged with a crime. He sent a statement which read, "When this accident occurred, I called a deputy to do a report. 2 Washington County deputies responded to the scene and I assumed did their duty." Christine Byers, 5 on your side.
Sheriff Jacobson filed a motion today asking a judge to assign a special prosecutor to review the case.